Tonight, Gavin Newsom is lamenting the remaining years of the Trump era. In an interview with the New York Times, the California governor got emotional about Donald Trump's rhetoric.
I can't even conceive of 3 more years of this. It really is. What's happening to our kids? Their brains are already being scrambled by social media and everything else we didn't even talk about. But this is their role model? A guy who calls someone a retard? A guy who calls someone a piggy? This is our role model, the President of the United States?
Over the last 6 months, Newsom has been emulating Trump's brash, all-caps-laden, and often AI-generated social media persona. And it's not just Democrats. Listen to these Republicans who rejected the president's demand for a new map in Indiana.
Welcome back to Balanced Voices. Today's discussion focuses on a growing debate that's extending far beyond a single television appearance. What began as a controversial comment quickly evolved into a broader conversation about political rhetoric, public discourse, and where the line should be drawn when discussing communities, cultures, and identity. Critics argue that certain language contributes to division and reinforces harmful stereotypes, while defenders often claim the remarks are being taken out of context or interpreted too harshly. The disagreement highlights a larger trend in modern politics, where increasingly sharp rhetoric is becoming a regular part of public debate. Many observers believe the issue is no longer just about one individual statement, but about the standards political leaders, commentators, and public figures choose to uphold. As the national conversation becomes more polarized, questions about accountability, civility, and responsible communication continue to take center stage. In this video, we'll examine the controversy, break down the competing perspectives, and explore why this debate is resonating with so many people across the political spectrum. Let's get started.
The efforts were mean-spirited from the get-go. So, I think they get what they get. I wish that President Trump would change his tone.
I had released a post about my displeasure over some the slur that the president used. Words have consequences, and for me, it was just added to a litany of reasons of why this was just bad policy and not good timing, and wasn't deserving of my support.
That last Indiana lawmaker that you just heard, one of the reasons that he said that he rejected this map was when he heard Trump use the R-word slur. He has a child with a disability. And I wonder if Gavin Newsom, you think, Brianna, is hitting on something that is bubbling up here. When you have Republicans saying Trump is going too far, is that a sentiment that could hurt Trump and Republicans going forward?
I don't think so. I think to the state senator, Bo Boachek, who just spoke, I can understand why a parent with a child with Down syndrome would be sensitive to the use of the R word, and I completely agree. But I do think to his point about words mattering, words matter, but policies matter more. And if he cares about the dignity of people and children with Down syndrome, that he should want to make sure Republicans have a good, fair fighting chance in Congress, because it's parties like Congressman Moskowitz's party who votes against legislation that would ban abortion solely on the basis of Down syndrome. And so if you want to focus on the dignity of those with Down syndrome, words may hurt, but policies will hurt more. So I think he should have voted with the Republicans to redistrict.
Not having insurance is also going to hurt.
So you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah,
you think it's important
voted it down.
For on the abortion piece, for children with Down syndrome to have a chance of life. But when they are here, you're fine with the president denigrating them with a slur?
Abby, I think everybody at this table, at least for my generation, the lexicon, unfortunately, uses the R word not to smear or malign
on a
anybody.
Playground in fifth grade,
no,
not
Abby,
the
I'm
president
telling
of the
you
United
right
States.
now, that is a word that unfortunately is just thrown around as if you're calling someone an idiot or a moron. I'm not defending it, but I'm saying that President Trump certainly was not using it to attack someone who has a legitimate disability. I think we all know that too. Calling Tim Walz the R word is not trying to say Tim Walz has Down syndrome.
Well, look, Tim Walz also has a child with disabilities, so there's that too. But Charles, you were saying.
I mean, I think, we're in the wicked season, and we got used to Trump defying gravity. And we thought, you know, a lot of people thought that that was going to happen forever. I think that gravity is now taking hold. I believe that there's a political gravity that's happening with Donald Trump because people are getting exhausted by it. I think this is what was happening at the end of the first term, and I think this is where Newsom has to tread a little bit more lightly here, because emulating Donald Trump, by the end of his presidency, people were exhausted by Donald Trump. They did not want exact replica of Donald Trump. They wanted something completely different from that. And I think that, you know, Gavin Newsom has to figure out if he wants to continue the next 3 years as being the anti-Trump by being a kind of a mirror image of him.
Yeah, can he do both?
But that's not... Ezra Klein has an interview with him basically saying he is the front runner for the Democratic Party. Yet what did he put out? An AI-generated photo of the President of the United States in handcuffs this week. He told the Indiana governor, get down on your knees today in a post on X. So, I don't know, on one hand, the president can't do it, but yet Gavin Newsom is now the front runner for the Democrats?
What else to do? Your knee
Wait, I
pad.
don't know. This is sort of a chicken and egg kind of situation.
What are you talking about? No, we're
I
talking
think
about verbiage. We're talking about verbiage.
I'm saying what's chicken and egg is that you're sort of implying that Gavin Newsom started it, and that it's fair then for
I didn't
Trump
say Gavin Newsom started
Republicans to continue it when
we all
when in
know
fact,
how the president speaks.
Yeah, exactly.
We all know how the president speaks. He got reelected with 77 million votes. People are not.
Do you remember this? This is a Trump post from 2024 where he reposts a truck with Joe Biden hogtied on the streets and Trump flags flying. So I mean, Gavin Newsom's point is. And trust me, I think part of the question I'm asking is, can he do this, right? But his point is that Trump does this every day. Now, all of a sudden, Republicans are up in arms. You've got Republicans like Peter Navarro saying, I went to prison defending the Constitution because of woke assholes like you who weaponized our justice system. This isn't close to funny. All you're doing is inciting more violence. Was it violence when Trump did it? And why are Republicans suddenly so offended?
Look, I can't speak to those Republicans, and I'm not arguing with you. We know how Donald Trump speaks, and he's very blunt. That's one of the things that people of America like about him. And sometimes he uses words I don't always agree with. But I'm just saying, for the media and others to now prop up Gavin Newsom and say he's great when he's putting out AI-generated photos of our president in handcuffs on a sidewalk, well, then what's the difference?
You sound offended by it.
I'm saying, what's the difference? I'm saying, what's the difference? You guys want to slam the president constantly.
Are you offended by someone saying that their political opponent should be put in jail? Okay, well, let's.
It's not about being offended. You should never just preemptively assume your opponent should be in jail like that.
He has done his entire political career.
Tell you what, for what she's done, they should lock her up. She's disgraceful. Hillary Clinton has to go to jail, okay? She has to go to jail. You should lock them up. Lock up the Bidens. Lock up Hillary.
All right, so tale as old as time. Lock her up. This was 2016. This was 4 years before Joe Biden. This was 4 years before the alleged lawfare. Lock her up. What are we talking about here?
First of all, he said should. Did Donald Trump weaponize his Department of Justice to lock Hillary Clinton up? No, he didn't. But did Joe Biden lock up Peter Navarro, Steve Bannon, try Donald Trump?
The reporting is, in his first term, he certainly tried. And he had a different government at the time, a different cabinet at the time, and it didn't work. But listen, I'm not defending any of this, but I just think it is so interesting that memes and that threats of, or not even threats, just memes about locking up your political opponent are suddenly so offensive
it's not about being
to
really
the other side of the aisle when it was
it's
fine when Trump did it for the last 8 years.
I mean, listen, A for effort on that lock her up thing. Okay, but here's what I would say, right? At the end of the day, the game has changed. And what Democrats have decided is we may not like the game. We may find it morally reprehensible. But what Gavin has decided is he's going to play the game, because if you don't play, you automatically lose. And so you can play the game while also saying, I don't like the game.
Can you?
Yeah, you're making my point.
You're
making my point, Congressman.
I would say,
exactly what I point.
I don't know if that's true.
Well,
I don't know if you tell Americans that, like, you know, we're going to just normalize this whole thing.
It is
and
normalized.
I'm going to go, you know, when they go low, I go lower. That's the thing that people are saying these days. That the actual representation of that is this. How do you go to the American people and then say, kick those people out and put me in instead?
Because it's the politics of escalation. That is what is going on in the House that I serve in. That's what I see every single solitary day. I mean, again, right? You remove one person from committee on one side, the next year they remove two. You remove two, they remove four. They don't like what Biden's DOJ did, what Trump's DOJ is worse, okay? And so it's the politics of escalation. And so Democrats could decide not to play. But then we lose, then we lose in the communications game. Then Democrats say, we're not fighters, we're not fighting. The reason Gavin is rising is that they look at him as a fighter. They may not like the game, but he's playing to win.
All
Well,
right. Very quick.
Okay. I think that I would offer this to other liberals out there. The tit for tatting with the memes feels good. Eventually, someone's going to have to wake up and realize that this is fascism that's approaching.
Oh,
it's not going to be.
Oh,
It's not
my
going to just be a
goodness.
meme that's going to be the response.
Lordy.
There's going to have to be more people in the streets. There's going to have to be more really hard decisions made about how you want to live and what your future should look like. And that's not going to just be yelling back at the guy who's
All
yelling
right.
at you.
Next for us.
The debate also opened a larger conversation about political strategy and how parties respond to increasingly aggressive rhetoric. Some commentators argue that answering sharp attacks with restraint demonstrates leadership and discipline. Others believe that constantly taking the high road can create the impression that one side is unwilling to defend itself when challenged. That difference in approach has become one of the defining arguments in modern politics. As public discourse becomes more combative, many voters are asking whether traditional strategies still work in an environment dominated by viral moments, social media clips, and highly emotional exchanges. Supporters of a more confrontational style believe strong pushback is necessary to challenge inflammatory language and prevent extreme rhetoric from becoming normalized. Meanwhile, advocates for a more measured response warn that escalating tensions can further deepen political divisions and make productive dialogue even more difficult. What makes this issue particularly important is that it extends beyond any single politician or television appearance. It's about how leaders communicate, how supporters react, and how political culture continues to evolve. Every major controversy now becomes a test of messaging, public perception, and the ability to connect with voters who may only see a few seconds of a much longer conversation. The reality is that many Americans are less interested in partisan battles and more interested in results. They want leaders who can address economic concerns, public safety, health care, education, and the issues affecting everyday life. Yet political debates often become focused on personalities, reactions, and headline-generating moments that dominate the news cycle. As these conversations continue, one question remains at the center of the discussion. What is the most effective way to challenge ideas you disagree with while still persuading people who may see the issue differently? That's where we'll leave it today. What do you think? Is a tougher response necessary in today's political climate, or does meaningful change require a different approach? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoy balanced political commentary, current events analysis, media breakdowns, and thoughtful discussions on the biggest stories shaping the national conversation, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more content from Balanced Voices. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.